I was coaching an executive director who had recently moved into the role from another internal position. She was struggling with creating a thriving team, in particular, how she could get her team members to share more about themselves so that she could get to know them better and learn how they were experiencing the organization and her leadership. She had a strong desire to create a sense of belonging so that her team could thrive, but was not sure what to do. And then, through our coaching, she learned to model the behavior she wanted to see in her team. She began to share more about herself. She would share about her salient identities and her experiences as a white woman in the organization so that her team members could feel comfortable sharing more about their experiences. This allowed her to understand if they were experiencing the sense of belonging she was trying to create within the organization. Hi, I'm Joel Bettis, and today I'm going to talk to you about building teams that truly thrive together. I'm a visionary leader and an executive coach, inspiring speaker, and trusted consultant who empowers leaders and organizations to achieve their goals while cultivating a culture of inclusion and impact through a culture of humility. My passion lies in helping others unlock their full potential and create the thriving, inclusive environments they aspire to lead. Creating a strong sense of belonging is essential in building a thriving team. Why? If team members feel like they belong, they will feel like their contributions matter and will want to stick around for a long time and enjoy working with each other and you. In 2019, Harvard Business Review published an article entitled "The Value of Belonging at Work." The article summarized a study that found 40% of people report feeling isolated at work, the result being lower organizational commitment and engagement. It also goes on to share that belonging is good for business. If workers feel like they belong, companies reap substantial bottom-line benefits. High belonging was linked to a whopping 56% increase in job performance, a 50% drop in turnover risk, and a 75% reduction in sick days. For a 10,000 person company, this would result in an annual savings of more than $52 million. That's a lot of money. So what is belonging? According to Phyllis Weiss-Hazeroth, a workplace consultant on belonging, she describes it this way. The organization fosters a supportive and inclusive environment where individuals feel safe to speak up, be creative, and make mistakes without fear. Contributions are valued and recognized, and curiosity is encouraged. Creating a sense of belonging is vital to team engagement and success. Therefore, you must take the necessary steps to create a culture where belonging exists, so that your team can thrive together. If you are able to develop a strong sense of self and help your team do the same, it will go a long way in creating a sense of belonging and helping your team truly thrive together. Why? Because your team will know how you lead and how they each lead, making it easier to build the trust that will be necessary for them to come to you and each other when they need to share something. This will require you and your team getting clear on the values that guide each of you. Examples of guiding values include honesty, teamwork, family, inclusion, etc. You will also need to identify your leadership strengths. Leadership assessments like the Gallup-Clifton Strengths Assessment can help you identify where your strengths lie. Another important thing to get clear about is your decision-making process. Are you collaborative? Do you take time to think? Do you get a lot of input before making a decision, etc.? If you say you're collaborative in your decision-making process, it's also important for you to think about times when you can't be collaborative in your decision-making process and identify examples of when that's the case. This will help your team know when each of you are not able to be collaborative, so people don't end up jumping to conclusions which can create frustration, leading to grudges being developed, impacting the team in a negative way, and eroding a sense of belonging. These are examples of the first three things that are necessary to get clear about. The other things you need to get clear about is your preferred communication styles. Do you prefer email, text, phone, in-person meetings, etc.? When you make a mistake, how will you own up to them and what your pet peeves are or what bugs you? It will also be important that the team members understand one another's strengths and communication styles. This will help take the guesswork away from understanding how each of you operate. If your team has an understanding of each other's leadership styles, pet peeves, preferred methods of communication, etc., this will lead to a high-performing team. An exercise that would be helpful is for each of you to create an operating manual that describes each of the topics I shared earlier: your guiding values, leadership strengths, preferred method of communication, decision-making style, how you will communicate when you make mistakes, and what your pet peeves are. After each of you have created this document, each of you should share it with one another and have a conversation about them so that you can ask each other clarifying questions to ensure you understand what each of you wrote. This process will help your team develop trust and clarity with each other. This will help you get to know your team and help them get to know each other. This in turn will mean that they have an understanding of what makes each of their colleagues tick so that the likelihood of miscommunication and frustration are minimized. Let me share a story with you. It was just like any other workday when Lisa came to see me. She knocked on my door and asked if she could come in. I could tell right away that she was upset about something and wanted to talk to me about it. I asked, "What's wrong?" She shared with me that she was upset about a decision that the organization had made that was impacting her department. As soon as she was done sharing this with me, I went into fix-it mode. I began sharing with her solutions she should try, conversations she should engage in, etc. She stopped me. She said, "Joel, I don't want you to fix it. I just want you to listen." I then realized that I didn't know Lisa well and misread what she wanted me to do. I apologized and then just listened to her vent how she was feeling. From that moment on, when she and others came into my office looking upset and sharing with me something they were upset about, I would ask them, "Do you want me to listen or do you want me to help you find a solution?" This simple question created a space where my team members felt like they were taken seriously, felt welcomed in a supportive environment, and were not expected to be perfect. You have to get to know yourself and your team. The work of creating a thriving team needs to start with you. This will then impact your organization, but it will require always going back to gaining more self-awareness so that you can identify the areas in your leadership that still need attention. You and your team will need to make a commitment to creating an environment where they can bring things that need attention to you and each other so that you can improve their ability to lead exceptionally and create a thriving team. In the example I shared about Lisa, she felt like she could come to me because I had created a culture of belonging and psychological safety. What I am saying is that building thriving teams is not linear. It is not a destination to be arrived at, but a continual process that will require practice, and you will make mistakes. You will say things that offend others or each other, forget to include people in your decision-making process, etc. It's what you do when you make those mistakes that will determine your success as a team. Therefore, you will need people around you who can hold you accountable, mentor you, and coach you. This could include colleagues, friends, mentors, or coaches. You are not on this journey alone.